amateur ransom. Since the basement making anthems over seasons with the man in black is seasoned with my patterns. Pretty girls, you think I'm handsome. Just coasting through these matches. I'm not bossing, I'm advancing. Keep it moving, tryna be on before below. Wanna be intimate with soul, explore this war before I go. And that's some hours in my feng shui. Now it's like work for 10K, all cause it is pen gamers. Been insane in the membrane since them days where we raved for 3 days and 4 nights and took them red eye flights. Hot straight off the plane and through the back door of the place. Then I head down stage, they were like, see the crowd going air, they were like. So I stepped down stage, they were like, ooh yeah. See the crowd going air, they were like, ooh yeah. Crazed and courageous, raised by some Zulu lions, taught to seek dangers, brave and defiant, boy, the Lord was doing favors, blaze through the fire, yeah, we had a few, lost a few wages, still coming rampant, misbehavior, flavors, still coming anti-up, rebelling with my ravers, still don't give a about who be the latest, can't be locked up in them cages, start living up to what the you think a day is. But hey, what about it? So I stepped on stage, they were like, see the crowd go.
The NFL playoffs are on EA Sports, and we've got a packed house here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Tonight, it's the second game here on this wild card Saturday, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Atlanta Falcons. It's the second of our 2 games here on this Saturday as Super Wild Card Weekend continues here on EA Sports. And a signal there for the fair catch, so this opening drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
너무 훔치 같대 나.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He gets it complete to Jackson. A big play there for Detroit. 46 yards.
Complete to number 6. A gain of 46 yards on the play. First down, Detroit.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Scoring first, so critical in the postseason. They've got it here 1st and goal. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And in for the Lions touchdown. From 3 yards out. And the Lions will strike first here in this wild card matchup. Lutz with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0.
Lions 7, Falcons 0.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Let's go now. Cheetah.
Now a first carry here for Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down, and he's going to have it by plenty, able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the 1st down.
Here we go. Here we go. Ready.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. He's got his man downfield. It's Robinson. And he'll go down the molecule, getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 30 yards. Now back to throw. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And I think the ball's out. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in the game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. And they'll run it here. And that
Boy,
the defense all over it, and they blow that up behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So out now comes the field goal unit for the Falcons. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is indeed good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. Their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute. Each side can step up and assert its will over the other.
That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
It's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. That right there, a good preview of the matchup matchup we intend to watch closely here in this wild card game.
And it's going to go throughout the game, but let's face it, you just mentioned it, wild card. We're just starting the playoffs. If you didn't run your number one guy on their number one guy throughout the season, you do it now. The playoffs have begun, best on best.
St. Brown in motion right. They'll look to throw again. And he comes back with one complete.
このままそうなんです。やられた、無理や。
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big play there on the catch and run. 30 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw again. He finds his man, complete. That's Grant. Touchdown. A great play there. 27 yards. And the Lions are able to add on to that lead. Lutz good on the extra point. And that pushes the lead up to 11.
14. Falcons 3. Will Lutz.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They've been a come-from-behind team all year. They'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag.
Hey.
Coming late. That might be PI. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
Ready.
Up the middle they go. Shields. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. That is incomplete.
ワンタイミング遅かった。今のいったと思ったな。
2nd and 10. A play action fake. They'll look to throw. And too much juice. Incomplete.
やめちまえ。
Certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
And I don't think that's scary. It does not. It's no good. And they will remain 2 scores down as the difference holds at 11.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Here we go. Here we go.
From the 48-yard line, here's a 2nd and 5. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back
Nice.
to the run. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
And he'll go down before getting this inside the 30. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brings up 2nd and 12. 30-yard line.
79 Broncos.
Looking to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches.
なんでお前ついてへんねん、クソは。ワンツーつけてやるが。
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He'll look to throw. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And now they'll shift things around. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It'll go, it's no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let him know right away I'm throwing it by probably giving my quarterback some room, spread him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
The kick by Lutz is good, and they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So no problems at all in that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. That stop made by Jack Campbell.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a 1st down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
A gain of a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
Ready.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw.
下手くそタッチダウンやんけ。
But he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
going to be
So
a
that.
frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
It's taken to the 26. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And they can't bring him down. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Come on. Hey, Cougar 19.
Jackson, the man in motion right. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning.
19 Tiger.
2nd and 11. Now they set up the screen. That's good
お
play.
前さ、
And he's taken down inside.
ファッソンちょいやろ今の。
2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs.
Here we go. Cowboy 80. 60 Bobcat.
Back to throw now on first down. They'll hit Jackson, complete. And in for the Lions, touchdown. A great effort there. 28 yards. And the Lions continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road. Lutz with the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
死ね。それもリリースできひんならやめちまえ。
And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
消えた。ばっか。こいつも。やめてくれ。引退しろ。
Ready, set. Hawk 70. Warrior 70.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
インターセプトしろや。
Out of bounds and incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
お前らこれ入れられた負けやねんぞ。分
Here's
かっとん
2nd
け。
and 10. They'll set up to throw. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, That's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
15-yard line.
Okay, ready?
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Now they got to get to the line quickly.
An 8-yard loss on the play. It's now third down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown of this game, partner, and that quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that 3rd down snap.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Ready.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw.
無理ですか。
Everything falling apart now.
チャレンジして勝てへん。
And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
無理です。この QB じゃ。
Show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Only able to gain a couple there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
60 Maverick. Chop 60, chop 60. Ready.
He'll drop to throw. That's complete to Laporta. Touchdown!
それんなやクソが
In the final seconds
ゴ
of
ミ
the
ども
first
が
half, and the Lions are able to add on to their first half lead. Lutz good on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. 4 seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. And we'll still have time for one play before the half, as this will be fair caught and brought out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
Ready up. Ready.
They'll throw now on the final play. And his throw here's incomplete. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. One of these 2 teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
At their own 31-yard line.
Ready.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And Charles, that had to be an interesting locker room at halftime. This is a team that's had so much success this year. Haven't really had to deal with a lot of adversity at halftime, to be honest. But now here they are with their playoff lives on the line.
And I think when you're alluding to that interesting locker room, you're just wondering how are they handling that bit of adversity that they're seeing right now, because I think this is a team that has to look to lean on the veterans at this point. We know we're better than this. We've proved it all season. Let them disseminate that confidence through the locker room. But this opening drive, it'll be an important one for them to give them a little jolt.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. 1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
60 Bison, 60 Bison. Go.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 49 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
A gain of 18 on the play. First down, Lions.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. Down to about the 22 here. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
2nd and 3.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed, great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Get up. Lions, pat the 60, pat the 60. Bronco 80. Ready, ready.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Falcons grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. But he has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Check. Ready, ready.
Right back to him on 1st down. And some room to work. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards, 1st down, Atlanta. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
And he ran right through one tackle as he fights forward for a gain of 7. And the offense moving quickly to the line. 2nd and 3. And a quick throw here, that's complete. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Now a give, right side. Shields. Past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown. A big play there. 44 yards. And the Falcons are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point attempt to follow here. And the lead is down to 24. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
And keep in mind, in addition to the 2 sacks that he now has, CD, he's also had a couple of quarterback hurries. He's been very disruptive.
To put it mildly, and it reminds me of the time I asked an offensive tackle who struggled like this in a game. He said he was telling the coach, hey, what do you want me to do? This guy's just eating me alive. And the coach finally just looked at him and said, applaud.
Here comes the Lions punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. So it sails out of bounds close to midfield. And they'll say actually right at midfield. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Now a give right side. Shields. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. 2nd and 2. The 20. 5. Touchdown Falcons. Great play there. 42 yards. And the Falcons are able to get a score back in the final stages of this 3rd quarter.
Look, we all know that sometimes we see upsets in the wild card round, but I have to tell you, in this case, I did not see that coming.
I don't think anyone in the stadium saw it coming. You and I were coming in before the game. There was a couple in front of us talking about travel plans for next weekend.
Ja, verga!
Yeah, I would say so, because right now it's looking more and more like they're going to be one and done. They're probably trying to call the hotel and make sure they get their security deposit back.
Atlanta's 11 ready to go, and they kick it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
I see what. やっとディフェンスが生き生きしてるから今更やね。
This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
1 quarter remains in this NFC wild card matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready?
2nd and 13. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think he continued to do so.
Shit!
On 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
As soon as he leaped down and began his route, someone on the defense
0.5 ちゃんぐらい出てくる。
with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 26-yard line.
Here we go.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone right so far.
And they are, to be frank, in desperation mode now as they begin with a 1st and 10. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. So
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
One of the
linemen on the other side has got it.
Much like a running back going through the line,
なとこです。変なボケ。
protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down, and he'll have it by plenty, as it turns out to be a big gainer there on 4th down. Back to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they're going to speed things up here.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
38.
They'll try and run for it. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. And quickly, they get to the line. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
On 3rd down, Shields. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. 116 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll drop to throw. And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
On 3rd down, Kenny. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the 1st at about the 21. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears trying to go for it on 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down.
So they get the flag for pass interference. Big call there on 4th down.
But it's the right call, and as much as I want to see them play through incidental contact, he's definitely there too early.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And this brings up a 3rd and goal. But looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
So here we go on a 3rd and goal. This Lions defense, they haven't broken yet.
Watch out now. 50 Fury. Smith, ready.
They'll try to run this one in. Yeah, this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. They'll try and run for it. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Lion defense able to come up there with a goal line stand. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. A very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Hey, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Back to throw now in his own end zone. To the sideline and incomplete.
Where the fans should be applauding this defense right now. It's an excellent job. They force a 3 and out, and they should be able to set up their guys in great field position, probably near midfield or better.
The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. Taking on the midfield logo. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give them a good 10 yards on the return. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets it down to the 32. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. 2nd and 4. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Now back to throw. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown! Kyle Pitts, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Falcons have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. The Falcons are going to leave the offense out there. They'll go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Lions are able to cover this one up. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And he'll be brought down at about the 42.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And now off to the races down the right side. And even 100 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
Fighting it off. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
They'll try to run this one in. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. They'll run here on 3rd and goal, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here's 1st and 10.
Ready?
He'll look to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's Brian Branch with it.
Intercepted by the Lions. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
They go down to a knee, and that will do it. They are moving on here in the playoffs. They said beginning of the season they wanted to get past the wild card round. Well, they just got past the wild card round.
How about that, being able to put the big check marks up in the locker room, right? Yeah, you know, get to the wild card game, check, got that done. Win a wild card game, big check. Now you've got to go ahead and set your sights higher. There is a bigger prize out there, and they still have an opportunity.
Legends on 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, please, please don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that with me. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that. Hey, go that, go that.
And they got it, I'm changing the meter. Double part looking like Bane in the beater. Her Frankie, probably tangled the weave. Only jump in the front, see the play with the speakers. Let the mic dance, touch a mic dance. Love the night, stop a mic, cut the mic dance. Fresh like plus ice, got him up plus size. Panamera truck, I hopped out the roof. Yeah, dime on my left wrist, and she got the blue. Yeah, watch look like checkmate is supposed to be blue. She know it's too sweet, so she leave her best friend. Bust out my dad, this chain is
レオルトラも根本さんのおかげで初のいいかな新本さんそうでもないかな時が先だったんですかねレキさんと新本さんには本当でおかげでレオルトラ有名だよ本当で新本さんの才能をもっとより出して